Do you have Kendrick Lamar or do you have Lil Wayne as your headliner? You want to bring in as many endorsement and advertising dollars as possible. Who do you have as the performer for your halftime show?
It's the Super Bowl. So you go get the endorsements. I feel like you will get the endorsements.
That's fair.
Either way.
That's very fair.
I feel like a lot of people who are getting the endorsements, I don't want to say this and sound wrong, but like I feel like they don't necessarily care about the halftime show. They care about the marketing, the commercials.
They care about their product being in front of so many people. Right.
Exactly. So I would say, honestly, to answer your question,
all black people, even if we don't know each other, are in tune to each other. I said, you want proof? And they'd be like, yes. I said, watch this. God is good. And everybody would say, all the time. And they'd be like, I said, look at that. We didn't even practice that. Here we go.
And we are back, y'all, with Mr. Mike Street. How you feeling over there, Mike? You holding up okay?
I'm good. What's funny is I've never recorded on one of these. I just use it as a mixer.
Oh.
Yeah, I never
teaching me some.
Yeah, I never use it as a recorder.
I've been trying to figure out how to work the buttons and stuff, watching my little YouTube videos, but
you definitely are more advanced with it than I am.
I literally just hit the record button. Like when it's green, I just turn it red. That's it. That's it. But let's get into what I got. I got a whole bunch of stuff here. Let's do a fun question real quick.
Okay.
Now, this is completely rhetorical.
Rhetorical. Okay.
If you were on Love is Blind.
No, I'm getting ready to ask the dumbest question, but go ahead.
Well, if you watched Love is Blind before, right?
No.
You never watched Love is Blind?
No, I don't think I have.
Dang, okay.
I tell you what, just tell me what
Love
type of show
Love is Blind
it is.
is a show where you're dating somebody, but you can't see them. But you have to talk to them through a wall.
Okay. You know what?
So you know their voice.
Actually, that might be beneficial for a lot of people. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, yes. But the thing is, you have to propose to this person without ever seeing them. Yeah, I know. So it's just a cute little question.
Okay.
But if you were on Love is Blind,
okay,
what question would you ask to see if the person is black? Because you don't know nothing about them. You don't know their ethnicity. You don't know their family. They can't reveal anything like that about themselves.
How to tell if they're black? Oh, this is so stereotypical. I would say one of them would be pronounce the word ASK.
Ask?
Yes.
Wait, how black people say ask?
Ax.
Ax. I never noticed that.
Yeah, ask me something.
Ask me some. Okay.
You've heard it.
Yeah.
You just never paid attention to it.
I asked my 10-year-old goddaughter this. She said, I said playground instead of Love is Blind if you want a playground. She said, I would say, you like fried chicken? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is...
Let me see another way to tell if you're black. Yo, that's tough.
It's a tough one, right? Somebody else said, I would say, God is good, and see what they say after.
You know what? I have to share this with you.
Okay.
When I was hosting at the Funny Bone. Just to warm up the crowd. You know, it's usually a mostly black night. I would bring a white person on stage.
Okay.
Or a non-black person.
Okay.
Be, Indian, Spanish-speaking person, whatever.
Okay.
I bring them on stage. Hey, I just want you to feel comfortable. I want you to know that black people, all black people, even if we don't know each other, are in tune to each other. I said, you want proof? And they'd be like, yes. I said, watch this. God is good.
And they would say.
And everybody would say, all the time. And they'd be like, I said, look at that. We didn't even practice that. And it would astound them.
Yeah.
Because they're like, wait a minute. But then, every year that went by, I noticed that non-black people were on it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? I did do another thing that might work.
Okay.
I would ask non-black people
Okay.
The top 3 flavors of Kool-Aid.
Of Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Okay, I know the first one.
What is it?
Red.
See, and we know that. We know that it's not by flavor, it's by color.
Uh-huh.
And that's how I would do it. If one of their answers is not a color, then I know they're not black.
You got it.
Like if it's cherry, grape, and lime. It's like
cherry and grape.
No, it's red, purple, and green.
Yeah. Have your parents ever apologized to you about something?
Ooh, I'm sure.
How would you apologize as a black parent?
I don't know, like these days you see it's different now.
It's different.
You just say it. If you mean it, say it.
If you mean it, say it.
Yeah, like if it's something that's weighing on your heart, or you just know you're wrong, say it. Say it and get it out of the way.
Okay.
Mean it, of course.
Right.
But get it out of the way because I do believe that the most arrogant thing that you can do is assume that you'll have time to do it later.
I like that.
That's real. That's the most arrogant thing you can do is assume that you're gonna have another breath.
Okay, wait a minute now. You're getting deep now. You're getting deep. Because I did just learn the phrase, when you assume that makes an ass out of you and me.
Oh, that's so 1940s, but yes.
You know, every time I say that, I think I'm hitting something, and people be like, "Were you just learning that?"
Yeah, that's before me.
I got you.
But no, like that's the most arrogant thing you can do is assume that you have a later.
Yeah. So I mean, that's touching on something for me to ask you about.
Okay.
Being a father. Mm-hmm. You have a daughter, right? Is that your only child? Okay. Raising a daughter in this age of AI and all of these things that are very convenient, and obviously she has a parent who's a public figure. How are you nourishing that relationship?
One thing you can't forget is that kids these days are a lot more
advanced.
I would say they're a lot better at processing information, large quantities of information than we were.
Okay.
Just because it's almost like more information is more readily available. Now the downside to that is not all information is accurate.
It's good. Yeah, that's true.
Well, we were more resilient physically.
Yeah.
I feel that
we're not emotionally.
Right. Like I think they're more resilient. I don't want to say that they're smarter, but they definitely have more. No, I can say it. They're smarter when it comes to information. Like just because they have so much more access to it on a regular and daily basis, that they can get tidbits of trivia and assimilate it into who they are.
Yeah.
Back then, our information came from books. If you didn't read a book or listen to the news or read something, then you just didn't have that information.
Yeah.
They have it right there in their hands. So if they see it, they can assimilate it quickly, whether it's accurate or not.
I mean, and people used to have to pay for information. Like,
yeah.
It's not normal to have access to like a chat GPT that can spit out things instantly. So yeah, I would agree with that, and I think that kids are a little bit more like emotionally intelligent as well.
I think that they are definitely more. They grow up quicker.
Really? I think the kids today grew up quicker.
I think that as far as their resiliency, they grow up a little bit quicker.
Okay. Who are you with when you love yourself the most?
Me.
That's obvious. You and God is obvious.
Right.
Who is it? Anybody else?
Oh, you mean is
like externally?
When I love myself?
Yeah.
See, that's a trick question because you say when you love yourself the most.
Yeah.
You know what? I do find that people who have a genuine respect for you, and to me, The definition of love is having total and unabashed respect for someone. That's love.
Yeah.
Accepting somebody for who they are, how they are, without any judgment. That's the definition of love.
Yeah, that's true.
And the way I arrive at that, people are like, no, love is, that feeling you have, when the heart emoji. It's like, nah. Well, you heard people say God is love, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that reverence that you have for that higher power, they always tell you that God accepts you how you are.
Right.
God created you. So that respect, accepting people for how they are, who they are, and operating from that perspective, that to me is love.
Okay. We getting into it. As a program director at 106.5 The Beat, because
we go from love to work. Okay.
We go from love to work. I'm probably got a little bit of ADHD.
No, that's cool. I'm here for it.
Because you're the VP of.
I'm the VP of Hip Hop and R&B for Odyssey.
VP of Hip Hop and R&B for Odyssey.
Yeah.
You've played a role in shaping the station's culture and identity.
Yes.
What was the biggest challenge you faced in creating the unique voice for the station? And what did you learn from the experience?
One thing that you do learn is that your audience changes. So, say for instance, people who loved rap in the 2000s, in the late 90s and 2000s, they don't necessarily love rap from the 2020s. So
it's different.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you learn is that you have to provide entertainment for your target demographic.
Okay.
Not necessarily the people who've always been there for you, but for their demographic. So say for instance, I make clothes for people 25 to 40 years old. Once you hit 41, I don't make clothes for you anymore.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love you, but that's not what I do.
Yeah.
So the hardest thing I had to learn is that I have to sometimes let go of great clients in order to make space and receive new clients.
Okay. And then I'm seeing it seems like to me why radio will always be so prevalent is because your audience seems to only get younger. It feels, when it comes to the YouTube, any form of media, I feel like goes out to the younger people because the songs that you're playing,
I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like the songs are up to date songs. Even the older songs, they remix now to make TikToks go viral and things like that. So
I will say this.
Okay.
That's because the cume is higher with the younger people in their attention spans.
Okay.
The older you get, a lot of times you stray away from quote unquote social media or social platforms. And when I say social platforms, that includes radio, TV, apps, and all of that. You're about the experiences. You still use them. You still implement them, but maybe not at the same level that you did before. Younger people, they're taking all of the information in. Okay, cool. App, cool. Car, radio, cool. This streaming platform, cool. Go back and look at the newscast from this TV station, cool. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah.
If somebody starts a new platform, okay, let me sign up for that.
Yeah.
It's just what they do. It's dibbling, dabbling, dabbing, and let me find something that I like.
Yeah. Yeah.
The older you get, you know what? That's doing too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like that's another thing to learn. That's another thing to. So I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But if you provide something that people like, they'll always come to it.
They'll always come back. Yeah. All right. Now I want to talk about this Drake and Kendrick situation.
Oof.
Because as a person who's been in hip hop for a long time, you've seen a lot of rap beefs.
Yes.
I mean, you've seen the Jay-Z and Nas Ether. And a whole bunch of other ones. But I know, did you used to be a battle DJ?
No, I never.
You never did that? Okay.
I wasn't. I enjoyed every aspect of hip hop.
Okay.
So I enjoyed seeing it, but I was never dope enough to compete.
Okay.
Like, on stage and stuff. But
I got you. But you're familiar with the
absolutely.
the aura and the atmosphere. Do you think Drake was right in suing Kendrick? Because I know he sued.
He didn't sue Kendrick.
He sued UMG.
All right, so there's two ways to look at that.
Okay.
One of them is the way that people look on the surface, that he's a disgruntled employee. He's embarrassed.
Yeah.
That's one way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Another way to look at it is that they're in the middle of negotiations.
Yeah.
He could be doing that to use it as a way to either leverage more money or to get out of his relationship with that company.
Okay.
That way, if he creates his own platform, or creates his own situation, I should say, he keeps all of that money. He doesn't have to share it with Universal Music Group.
Yeah.
So imagine, just so people understand, say for instance, and these are accurate numbers.
Yeah.
Say for instance, he's working on a deal with UMG, and the number is $500 million.
Mm-hmm.
That $500 million is a loan. They don't just give him $500 million.
Right.
That's $500 million you can use to do business. You owe it back to us. So if you borrow $500 million from us and you turn it into $1 billion, you only owe us $500 million. Mm-hmm. So you basically used our money to make you money.
Mm-hmm.
Or, and by the way, if he doesn't pay that money back, he still owes them.
Mm.
So if you're looking at it, it's like, I might not be able to pay them back that $500 million because of the blow that my reputation just took.
Mm.
But if I start my own thing and I have the assets, so I have the backing, I could keep that. I can now be the bank. I can now have a situation where people come to me to do that because he still has that cachet in the music industry.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess the way I'm looking at it is, from what I saw in the lawsuit, when he's suing UMG, he's suing over them, I guess, boosting streams for Not Like Us.
Right.
Or them using the machine to boost it up. But I'm pretty sure Drake used that same machine to boost his stuff up.
Legally, I would say that if that mechanism was available to Kendrick,
mm-hmm. that
it was more than likely available to Drake as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What I can speak on is that, I also was listening to something else, and they were saying that, he was saying that, they were manipulating, the streams and people playing it.
Mm-hmm.
I can say this. When I looked at Shazam, when I looked at all of the different research tools that are available, people just like
the song,
Not Like Us.
People,
like I saw the concert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
I saw something
true,
that I've never seen before. I saw a person perform a song. What was it? 7 times in a row?
7 times in a row.
And people had the exact same reaction
Every time.
second time through the seventh time. That first time, the reaction was different because Dr. Dre introduced it. That was different. But from the second time all the way through the last time, it was the same reaction.
Yeah.
So in my head, nah, bro. That's legitimate. They liked the song. They wanted to hear the song. We had to play the song reaction to a record.
That's what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying because a lot of people are like, oh, well, they messing up Drake's bag. Oh, they, but I feel like Drake, you started this battle. Mm-hmm. And now you mad because you losing. Like I feel like he thought he was about to Meek Mill Kendrick. Like when he won with, this has happened before. Now I want to ask you about the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Because obviously it's in New Orleans, which is Lil Wayne's hometown.
Okay.
However, Kendrick has been picked to perform. Mm-hmm. How you feel about that? Do you feel like that's fair?
First, let me say this.
Okay.
If you were financing a concert, and you were trying to bring the most people and the most attention to your concert, would you have Kendrick as a headliner or Wayne as a headliner? And we're not talking about New Orleans. The Super Bowl is international. So who do you have to maximize your show? Lil Wayne or Kendrick Lamar?
I'm sorry, Wayne.
All right.
I gotta pick Kendrick.
Okay, and then something that you might want to research. Whenever they suggest who performs on a Super Bowl show, and you can check me on it. If I'm wrong, you can call me later and say, you know what, you were wrong about that. That way I'll stop saying it. But from what I understand is they also ask the host city. They give them a list of names.
Oh, okay.
They say, hey, here are 4 or 5, 6 or whatever people we were considering.
Okay.
Give us your input since you're the host.
Okay.
I believe they have that ability. Now, I'm going to ask, even if you are the city of New Orleans, if you want to bring the most people into New Orleans, do you have Kendrick Lamar or do you have Lil Wayne as your headliner?
You gotta get Kendrick right now.
If you're an NFL owner and you want to bring in as many endorsement and advertising dollars as possible, who do you have as the performer for your halftime show?
I'm gonna say Kendrick. I'm gonna say Kendrick. I do think that it's the Super Bowl. So you go get the endorsements. I feel like you will get the endorsements.
That's fair.
Either way.
That's very fair.
I feel like a lot of people who are getting the endorsements, I don't want to say this and sound wrong, but like I feel like they don't necessarily care about the halftime show. They care about the marketing, the commercials.
They care about their product being in front of so many people. Right.
Exactly. So I would say, honestly, to answer your question, Kendrick, of course.
Okay.
Because he's global right now.
Right. So it's not just, and people are like, it's disrespectful. He's from there. They did it last year in LA. It's like, whoa. That was an anomaly last year.
Yeah.
That was an anomaly.
I agree.
Usually, they don't invite somebody from the hometown to perform it. They just invite the biggest stars recently.
That's true.
Like Rihanna.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre, Snoop, Mary J. Blige, Eminem, 50.
Oh, that was fire. Yeah.
Mary J. Blige.
Beyonce.
Yeah, it's like it's like Wayne is an icon.
Yeah.
But does Wayne push the needle the way Kendrick does in this moment of time for a global event? Yes, it's being held in New Orleans.
Right.
But not theoretically, it's a global event.
Yeah.
The stage is physically in New Orleans, but it's a global event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, to make it easy, I would have only invited Wayne to do the halftime show if I was promised that Drake and or Nicki Minaj was going to be a part of the show. I would take a Drake, Nicki, Wayne show at Super Bowl the same way I would a Kendrick show. Because the three of them together, even if it was just Drake.
Yeah.
Hell, even if it was just Nicki.
Yeah.
Because realistically, from a marketing standpoint, Drake and Nicki are a lot bigger than Wayne.
I agree. Especially in this day and time. And Drake got hits for days. Nicki.
All of them have hits.
All of them got hits.
All of them have hits, even with each other. But if you were telling me I was going to get a poo-poo platter of Young Money, I might take that over Kendrick.
That would be legendary. And then you don't know who they would bring out. They might bring out Tyga.
They could bring out anybody.
Bring out anybody. Yeah.
They wouldn't have to because it's three of them.
They would rock it. Yeah, that's true. I agree. I have such a soft place in my heart for Wayne because he shaped the culture.
Absolutely.
With the Carter 3, his mixtapes, and I mean, he hold a lot of weight. However, I did hear somebody on the Breakfast Club, I think it was Charlamagne, and he was like, look, Wayne ain't well right now, so he can't be performing at nobody's Super Bowl at this point. So he was like, it's not even a conversation that
people who are smarter than us. People who are smarter than us.
Yeah.
Have taken all of those things into considerations and they made their decision.
Okay, I got you. Let's talk about this Diddy situation. Because at the end of the day, you grew up in the era where Diddy was it. And Diddy's songs
absolutely.
I just like R. Kelly. I love R. Kelly's songs. I know what he did was wrong. His songs are so good though. I feel like you can separate the artist from the music. That's just my personal opinion. Some people don't feel that way. But when it comes to Diddy, after all of these years, and obviously we have tapes now of him committing these crimes, are we still bumping Diddy on the radio?
No, I tell you what people don't realize.
Okay.
Every year that goes by, those songs from then fade out anyway.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they got more popular.
Like I give you a perfect example. Now there's certain songs that'll probably play forever, at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
One More Chance, a couple of Biggie songs, a couple of Tupac songs. But think about how many hit songs it were from back then that you don't hear anymore. That's because every year they fade away.
Okay.
At least on radio and different streaming services, they just fade away. It's not that they aren't good, but you have to make room, like songs that were playing 10 years ago. Those are the throwback songs now.
Okay. Yeah. I just feel like with the new age of TikTok and Instagram, like the song, even Encore, good love,
right.
Like those are like viral sensations, and these people are now getting the recognition that I feel like they should have had back in the day. But it sounds like that may not impact radio that much, like the viral TikTok song.
No,
are they pressing y'all to play those?
We take everything into consideration. Like it's almost like we can't have too much information on what people like. Like
okay.
if I had a shoe store. And I found out on TikTok, everybody's trying to get, everybody on TikTok is deciding that they're going to wear, Jordan 17s, and they're looking for the joints in the box with the little suitcase. I think those were the 17s, right? They came with the suitcase.
I think so.
I can't remember, but if I owned a shoe store and I found out that's what people were wearing on TikTok, I might add some more of those into stock.
Yeah.
They go come see me.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with music. Like, Diddy's music, as each year goes by, like, say for instance, his first song was, the Jodeci and Mary J. Blige joints. On mainstream radio, not UAC, not throwback radio. But on mainstream radio, those songs have faded out years ago anyway.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, they faded out. That song is 30 years old. Those songs are 30, 35 years old.
So he not losing no money on the radio?
No.
No.
Not from mainstream radio.
Okay.
Like, a lot of those were on throwback radio stations.
Okay.
More of them were on adult contemporary stations. He might be losing from that perspective.
Okay.
But from mainstream, nah.
But it feel like, honestly, in somebody like in his position, it feel like he kind of too big to fail in the money department.
Oh no! If you wanted to deplete someone's funds, you make them have to pay a lawyer over an extended period of time.
Yeah, yeah.
Lawyers go to school to learn a specific craft. That craft is worth a specific fee, and that fee ain't cheap.
Okay. Yeah, that's
they
true.
They earn their money.
Yeah.
And
I got
because
a lawyer right now that's $400 an hour.
Yeah, like a lawyer is not going to give you a discount. That it's just senseless.
So they probably thinking
especially the bigger the crime.
Yeah.
The bigger the crime, no, brother. I can't give you. I'm just trying to keep you out of jail at this point.
At this point, and it ain't working.
And you know what? The drain on my resources as an attorney is not cheap. I have to be paid. My team has to be paid. The firm has to get their cut. And because of that, I'm sorry, brother, I don't have a Groupon for this.
Yeah.
And a great lawyer, for people like this in that tax bracket of that stature,
caliber, yeah.
They're not using inexpensive counseling. They're using the best that's available. And the best that are available, charge accordingly.
Okay.
And that will drain and don't forget, he's had to sell a lot of stuff. He's had to separate himself from a lot of his companies. So it's not like his stream of income has depleted significantly.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. That sucks though. I mean, it's hard when you see your heroes fall like that. Especially when you create such a big legacy. But we're going to get ready to wrap it up in a minute. But I do want to know, when we wrap it up, I like to ask what your favorite quote is. And if you're reading a book, what book you reading?
My favorite quote, and it doesn't apply to right now, but that I've used a lot. If you can't be used, then you are useless. I am not currently reading a book.
Okay.
But I'm one of those people. I read articles from time to time, and I like listening to trivial presentations.
Okay.
Whether it's a quick video, not necessarily like TED Talks, but like factual stuff like, hey, did you know that they figured out that time actually can move backwards if you did this, like stuff that I know nothing about.
Quick little edutainment moment.
Yes. Those types of things I have a lot of interest in.
Okay. And my favorite quote is, I need to get a new one, but my favorite quote is by Dr. Seuss. And it is, you have to be odd to be number one.
Yes.
And I am literally, the book I'm reading right now, I'm obsessed with fraternities and sororities right now.
Okay.
Obsessed. Are you in a...
I'm not.
You're not? Okay.
I didn't have the right attitude.
I got you.
In college to join any of them.
It's definitely one of those things where it's kind of like the Illuminati, where like a little bit, enough to like question what they're doing.
Right, but you know what? At the end of the day, you either join or it's not your business.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that from the book, I'm just learning like a lot of influential leaders were in these fraternities, like Martin Luther King Jr. I didn't know he was an alpha, and like Thurgood Marshall, and like a lot of these big people are there. So I'm reading a book called The Divine Nine, and apparently this book is something that they tell all of the sorors and fraternity brothers to read before they join. So I'm like, it's just giving me a deep dive into it.
Well, are you thinking about joining grad?
No. I'm not. I am. What is it called?
What is it called when it's after you finish school? What is that?
Post grad or something like that?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, because people have asked, like I've talked about this to the point where people are like,
"Oh, you interested? You want to come and talk to us?"
No, I am a GDI, goddamn individual.
Okay.
That is what they call the people who are allies That's
Okay.
what I am. But no, I love it. Like, I feel like they have a lot of honorary people who are in the fraternities and
Yes,
sororities.
they do.
But thank you so much for being here, sharing your time. I understand time is the most valuable asset. So
Yeah, you know
appreciate
what?
you for hanging
I am
out.
glad you understand that. I think a lot of people need to understand that. Like, time is one thing that you can't get back. You can get money back, you can't get the time back.
Absolutely. So that's why I'm just happy that you were able to take time out your schedule to come
was
in
worth it.
and hang out.
It was worth it. Look, I'm on TikTok.
You on TikTok Live?
I learned that you can record on a.
Hey, depending on what microchip you got, you can go up to 75 hours. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. I mean, my SD card or whatever. How can we support you? What you any events coming up? Social media?
Well, you know what? Support me as an individual. I don't have any specific causes or particular causes.
Okay.
That are mine. But I do ask people, and I guess a pet cause of mine is I like supporting the people that feed more.
Okay.
Because people need the basics. Your most basic thing you need is food.
I met somebody at a chamber event that worked there, and they were saying that they actually like use local farmers. So like they pay more money to get the food, but it's quality food.
And let me tell you, we got a quick minute.
Yeah.
Let me explain why. Like, well, for one, I had the opportunity to go into the kitchen and prepare. Like, I was the time. This was a couple years ago. I got to chop asparagus, but just knowing that people have to do that every day, and it's volunteer work, by the way. People volunteer to do these things. That coupled with the fact that it's not just, it's not like they're feeding homeless people. No, they have people who volunteer their time to deliver meals to people who can't get out to get meals. They've delivered meals to relatives of mine. That I found out, and it's not just about the meal. Like, this particular relative told me that they thought it was really cool that the person or people who delivered the food would knock and say, "Hey, you okay? You okay today? You need anything else?" So imagine if you're a person who, one, might not have access to food, two, you might not have regular interaction with the public, and then this volunteer from Feed More shows up regularly, or these volunteers, and they check 2 of your human boxes. It's interaction, even if it's a brief interaction, and sustenance as far as food. How could you not want to support something like that?
That's the ultimate human experience.
That's
why
it.
we're here.
And that's why, I tell people, like, when I do events sometimes, hey, how much you charging? You know what? I like your event. Instead of giving me money, donate that to Feed More.
Wow. Okay. Shout out to Feed More.
There you go.
Donate some money to Feed More. Thank y'all so much for watching and listening. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you really enjoy these conversations. Please shout us out. Tell a friend to tell a friend. A comment, a like, all that stuff goes a long way. Thank you again, Mr. Mike Street, for coming on.
I appreciate it. There must be people talking on TikTok. Is that what that is over there?
Yeah, they talking, they liking, they watching, they doing all that stuff.
Shout out TikTok. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, we do. What else I got to say when I end this? Don't forget to tell your girl you banging the beat.
That's hilarious.
We out.